All right, guys, welcome back to another Marvel Strike Force video. As always, I'm Sith Lord Fluffy, and over here to my left, you guys can see, is the man Cdotts. So this is going to be probably a little bit longer video than normal because we do have a lot of information to cover, but we're going to try to hit it kind of fast and try not to go over time that badly. So
hopefully.
Hopefully.
That is the goal.
That's the goal. So we didn't do a video last week, so we are actually going to start with last week's blog post. It was titled Daughter of the Dragon. And the main thing we wanted to hit on last week's blog post, because I'm sure most everybody has seen it, read it, everything else, is Colleen Wing is going to be one of the new characters coming with the next patch. I'm sorry, with the current patch. She is here in the game, correct? Yes. All right.
Yep.
So we've got a little bit of history about her, kind of where she falls in the Marvel Universe. She is part of the Heroes for Hire team. She is a brawler. She's a skill character, city, and she's a hero. So we have... her basic is Katana Slash. Attacks primary target for 330% damage plus apply 2 bleed. On ward defense, when this character performs a counterattack or assist, apply 3 bleed instead. And if Misty Knight is an ally, this attack cannot be dodged. So this pretty much confirms Heroes for Hire is a ward defense team. And it's going to be... a pretty strong one.
Yeah, it seems like right now what everyone thinks that like we don't know what will beat this.
Right.
And it's gonna be interesting to see like who ends up like. I would assume something with Black Bolt because then they don't revive.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. It doesn't. We've seen, like I said, this is from last week. So, like I said, everyone is like kind of read this, like, and kind of gets the gist of what they're gonna do. Like, people have been brainstorming. That's about all I get. That or Black Order. Black Order will still beat them.
Well, Black Order beats everything. I mean, basically. Yeah. So,
Black Order, and I think that's gonna be the goal of this team. Is that you basically make it big enough that they have to use Black Order and pull the Black Order toward that. I think that is the goal of this team.
Yeah, I think the main purpose of this team is obviously yes to pull Black Order, but I think it's to kind of slow down wars, because it's taken your counter that you have for everything, and you have to throw it at this team, or you have to use multiple teams to take this team out. So it's going to slow the war down and make it last longer, which will in turn encourage more pack of shame buys and things of that nature, because people will have the time to get more attacks in. So,
yep. Very true. Very true.
So then we have her special is Fearsome Strikes, starts on the 4/4, which means you can use it right out the gate. Attack primary target, 400% damage, apply 4 bleed. You gain.
There's just too much bleed on this team.
Yeah, well, I mean that's 7 bleeds right there already, right out the gate.
Yeah.
Attack gains plus 30% piercing for each Heroes for Hire ally, which I believe there are. Four total, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 120% piercing. Yep. And then you gain 3 deflect on ward defense. This attack targets the enemy with the highest damage instead of the primary target, ignoring taunt and stealth, and gains a plus 1000% extra focus. If Misty is an ally, this attack cannot be dodged. So.
Yep.
This
is basically the war defense's version of Deadpool's.
Yeah, his special.
You're dead. You're dead move. that's literally all it is.
Right, and this is also going to make people think more about what they use to counter this team.
Yeah.
Because if Now, I don't think this is going to work, but assuming X-Force would counter this team, you want Deadpool to have the highest damage because he revives. But but at the same time, is that team going to work on this? And if you go in with Inhumans, your Black Bolt's going to be the highest, so he's going to get obliterated. I mean,
in theory, it should. But it depends on the turn meter, and it depends on the turn order, because that's going to be the key to everything. So I can't say anything until, we actually see the team in action, which hopefully will be soon. We already got the in-game mail, I thought, for one of them. I think it was Colleen that we got. Yes, we got the coming soon for Colleen Wing. So I would assume in a week, whenever Kestrel's red stars are gone, we're gonna get her. So
so the ultimate is Samurai Flash, energy cost of 3/3, so you can use it right out the gate. Attack all enemies for 300% piercing, which is a very nice AoE. If any target is a protector, attack that target for 400% piercing plus apply 3 bleed. So get wrecked, yo-yo, all of your tanks pretty much.
I don't think it's going to affect the big tanks. It's going to affect the tanks like Yo-Yo and Invisible Woman and, the protectors that aren't protectors. The actual tanks that taunt, I think they will be fine.
Well, the 400% piercing is going to negate their armor. So,
most of them will have defense up still. Most of them, they have ways around it. I get it. It is a huge thing.
Yeah.
But it won't kill them outright. Their health pools are too high. They're,
Yeah, that makes sense.
What have you?
You also apply heal block for 2 turns to all enemies. You gain 1,000% extra focus for this attack. And if Misty Knight is an ally, this attack cannot be dodged. That seems to be a going theme, that you're going to have Colleen Wing and Misty Knight are going to have to be together for this to really function well.
Right.
And then the passive is...
a wall of text.
Yes, very much a wall of text. On the end of any Heroes for Hire ally turn, 25% chance to attack the most injured non-summoned enemy for 200% damage and plus 30% piercing for each Heroes for Hire ally, ignoring taunt and stealth, plus gain deflect. On ward defense, this always attacks, which this is her special ability. Every turn, she's going to do it. Every time somebody takes a turn, she's going to hit somebody. On turn, gain deflect, plus apply assist now to Misty Knight. So you're going to get hit by Colleen Wing, and then Misty Knight's going to hit. On enemy death, if this character has 2 or more Heroes for Hire allies, apply offense down to all enemies. On spawn, on war defense, if this character has 3 or more Hero for Hire allies, and if health is full and not charged, gain 2 charged. At the end of any turn, if charged and below 50% health, lose 1 charged, clear all negative effects, heal for 100% of the character's max health, gain offense up for 2 turns, 2 deflect, and death proof. So basically that means you've got to one-shot this character if you don't want her to heal all the way back up.
Well, and this is where you actually keep going, and then I'll because I think it'll become apparent what I'm going to say when you finish it.
If charged, always revive on death and gain 10% damage, 10% damage reduction, and 175% resistance per charged. Gain 30% piercing for self and Heroes for Hire allies. And while this character has deflect, gain 100% chance to counterattack and 20% block amount.
So, okay. Yes, they want to slow down war. They want to create a team that you have to 2-shot. But think about it this way: if you throw a very fast, very low-powered X-Force at this team, and then you just say, "I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying not to take them below 50%." If you can accomplish that and have everyone have less than 100% health, guess what? they're not going to have charged. They won't be able to get charged unless, you know, the next person comes in and loses. But a lot of what they do will just be negated because of, you know, you hitting them and, you know, very lightly and then going into the next you know, going to the next one. Yes, it does. Like, it goes to what you said. It slows down war. It makes you two-shot this team. That's kind of the design. Unless, you know, the Black Order's big enough and it just one-shots them, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever. Because I don't think and that's just to say if and that's just to say what's the revive? The revive on death, because the revive on death is only if they're charged.
Yeah, the revive on death is only if charged.
So,
and they're only charged if they start with
100% health.
100% health and 3 or more heroes for higher allies. So it's either, if you take out 2 of the hero for higher allies, then second round is easy cleanup.
Yes. Or just bring them below 100% health, and that's fine. So we're good. Like, there are ways around this team. It is not. It does require thinking. It's just you either use your Black Order and just say goodbye, I don't care, or you know you very methodically take a team that's underpowered, that's gonna do damage, you know, to it. All of them without, you know, Iron Fist taking turn over turn over turn.
Right. Well, there's also Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer removes charged. So
yes.
there is also that.
There is going to be a lot of shuffling on defense because of this team. Let's just say that.
Yeah, there will be shuffling.
Just say that.
There will be shuffling, and I'm seeing I'm expecting to see more hybrid teams on offense come out of this.
Yes.
So
yeah, most likely.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, that is Colleen Wing's kit from last week's blog post. The only other big information in the blog post from last week is the costumes, which they're in the game now. You can purchase them. I'm not going to because they're just really expensive.
So somebody at Scopely said, let's sell costumes and make them $50. People will buy it. I want to find this. I want to find the person that bought it and shake their hand and be like, congratulations, you bought something.
You bought some you bought pixels for $50. Congratulations.
And what's sad about this is that the Elektra costume is actually awesome. It's an actual redesign of, you know, it's not a color swap like what the Captain Marvel one is. It's like,
yeah,
all you did was changed colors.
Right.
No. That's not worth. Sorry, that's not even worth $10. Not even worth whatever. It's 25 or 35. Whatever they're selling that one for.
It's like $35. I mean, I would have been okay if they were like $5 or $10, something like that. I could understand that. Yeah. You know, if people wanted it, cool, rock on. Have fun with it. You know, it's not for me. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hit the patch notes. So we did get a patch this past Wednesday. Well, let me back up. It was supposed to be this past Wednesday, but it actually happened Thursday morning. So arriving over the course of this release, 3 new playable characters, which are Kestrel, Colleen Wing, and Misty Knight. They are in your roster if you want to check them out. Kestrel is already in the game. People are able to buy a pack for her. Colleen Wing should be, I believe, either next week or the week after.
It's got to be next week. If we already got the in-game mail on it, it's got to be next week.
Yeah.
And that makes me believe that they're probably going to be Blitz. If they're doing it that quick, got to be Blitz so they can get them done, you know, back to back.
Yeah, before the patch ends, right?
Yes.
Also, customize your characters with new costumes. That was something we just hit on. There are currently 7 characters with costumes in the game. You guys can check them out in your roster. Assemble a top squad with a limited time Voyager trait for the Kestrel event campaign Take Flight. So sort your roster by Voyager trait. You see all the characters you can use in the event campaign. Coming soon is the Dark promotion credits from the basic Red Star orbs to purchase Red Stars for Ultron and Ultimus. So initially, Ultron will be capped at 3 reds and Ultimus will be capped at 5 reds. I do believe is what they said. And, you know, obviously over time we'll be able to take them up higher and do more. But be on the lookout for that. So I know they don't want you hoarding Red Star orbs right now because of, that's why they went ahead and dropped Kestrel, so that you go ahead and spend all your orbs so you didn't have any when they dropped the Dark promotion credits. But I'm doing my best to hold on to what I got. I got 5 reds on Kestrel, so I'm probably going to save everything until at least Colleen Wing hits the store. So.
Yeah, I haven't opened it yet, so we'll see when that even takes place. Like, you know, most likely what they would, what the dick move would be, yeah, it's coming over this patch, but it's not coming till the end. Like,
right, yeah, it'll be
the dick move that they would do.
Right, it'll be like the last thing before we get the next patch.
Yep.
I could completely understand that.
Yeah.
So prepare your skill military team for the new recurring training modules flash event back to boot camp. So there are 6 skill military members for that event. Watch Reminick Shake It has been immortalized in the Marvel Strike Force environment. Happy hunting for it, so we'll have to look out for that. I haven't seen that yet. Can you remember can you remember Widowmaker is on the billboard?
Guarantee you, it doesn't show up in low graphics mode. Which, if you haven't been paying attention the past month, that is all they tell you to do because there's so many damn bugs in the game that it's the only way to play it. So guess what? I'm not ever paying attention to finding that.
Yep, I'll look for it at some point.
Yeah, and that's a whole other thing.
And a new logo for Boundless Entertainment. A Scopely studio now appears at startup. We're the same studio, but now have a fancy new title within the company.
Except for that didn't happen. It just says Scopely, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't seen that yet. I just see the Scopely on the startup screen. So whatever.
I think they forgot. I think they were like, let's do this and put our little logo in there, and then they just didn't do it. Good job, guys.
Yeah, way to go. You forgot to flip the switch and cut it on. Nice.
Yeah, right?
So, bugs. Bug fixes from the patch. Known iOS issue when previewing a costume in the costume store. Graphical issues are visible. We're working on a fix for this. Okay. Night Nurse's special ability was not healing adjacent allies. The ability text was also corrected to be consistent with the formatting style. Bishop's special ability was incorrectly granting him offense up when Jubilee was only on the enemy team and no Jubilee was an ally. This should only happen when Jubilee is an ally. Okay. Yellow Jacket's ultimate ability, Hostile Takeover, was sometimes not applying Drain via his passive ability. Text fix for Hawkeye's passive ability was missing gains plus 100,000% focus for this attack. The combat behavior has always been correct and remains unchanged, no doubt. Chat was sometimes not showing the most recent messages, and on the squad select screen, the synergy icon was displaying for characters who didn't have active synergies. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even notice that part, but.
Yeah, some of them, it depended. Like, some of that stuff was like, oh yeah, this is annoying. It didn't, none of that stuff, I think, broke the game except for Bishop's ability. That's the only, well, and Night Nurses. That was the only 2 things that actually broke the game. Everything else was just, like, text. I think.
Well, Yellow Jacket's ultimate was not applying Drain.
Okay. Yeah, everything else was
but
like
the rest of it was
graphical, and it was just annoying more than anything else. So we got some fixes to some annoying shit, and cool, but whatever.
Yep. So Also in the patch notes is the character updates. Skilletary is
They got better.
they got better. And also Black Widow now has the military trait as well.
I would 100% say you probably should start looking at, and this is like, it may not work for you, but man, you need to start looking hard at like taking Black Widow off and putting her on that team. It just, something about like when I read it was like, wow, they really want you to use Black Widow here. Like,
well, the big thing
really making you think on who you put where, and it's getting tough, man.
Yeah, well, the big thing with Black Widow is it gives a lot of us a fifth character for the team.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing, and she should have been on the team to begin with, honestly.
Right.
So.
Yeah, Merc Soldier. I still think Merc Soldier just needs to go away, and somebody else needs to take his place of adding what now is some ungodly amount of damage and an ungodly amount of health to the entire team.
Right. Yep. And that's pretty much it for the patch notes. I know a lot of people have gone over all of that already, but hey, look, there it is again.
Yep.
So next up, we got an update yesterday that was reworks for Nick Fury, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Congratulations, all three of them got better.
Yay! That's literally all it says.
Yeah,
they got better.
That's pretty much all it is. Yeah. So Nick Fury will be used with Kestrel, obviously. Luke Cage and Iron Fist will be going with the
Heroes for
Hire team. Yep. So that's that's pretty much it for those guys. And now we bring you to today's blog post. Strike's long lost founder. So we'll just dive right in. We're hanging up a welcome back banner, rolling out the red carpet this week because one of Strike's founding members is returning from what was once thought to be a one-way trip. But that's not the only fresh face walking the halls of Strike, as another new member of the Heroes for Hire is making an introduction. We've also got a special event on the way, a repeating legendary event making a return, and events to power up your roster. First up, meet one of Strike's founders. This is Kestrel. Kestrel is the MSF original character, correct?
Which is, yes, I'm actually excited to see how far they take this character, because technically Strike doesn't exist outside of this game, right? Like, Strike is this game.
Yes, Strike is this game. But yeah, all of this stuff has been added as canon.
Yes, it has.
The storyline.
That's not what I'm getting to.
Yeah, the storyline and everything has been added as canon.
So we've had Shield. We've had Shield in the MCU. We've had Sword in the MCU. But will we? The question is, will they integrate? Because Strike kind of feels like Sword, just without calling it Sword.
Yeah, it kind of does.
In a way. Are they going to create Strike in the MCU? Because that is the whole goal of this character. This character now will show up places. Like, that is the goal of this character. This character is going to be in the comics. This character will be in the MCU. This character will just not, it just starts here. And apparently, I think they developed the character.
Yes,
I'm assuming in conjunction with Marvel and whatever. But I think the MSF crew, like, this is all of their brainchild. This is their character that they designed from start to finish, and it's going to be in the MCU eventually.
Correct.
That's the only thing I don't know is, does this mean Strike's is coming to there? That's the biggest part that I want to know. Otherwise, the character's great. I want to know more about the other side, that how this character fits into the Marvel universe part. Which obviously we're not going to get from this game. So
yeah,
it'll be fun.
It'll be interesting. I mean, because they can do comic books, they can do whatever TV show, whatever they want to do off of this. So, but I'm not going to read it all word for word, but this gives you the backstory of where Kestrel came from, how she got her powers, kind of stuff like that. She is a blaster. So her traits are hero, cosmic, tech, skill, and blaster. So she is a tech and skill character. She is going to be, in my opinion, really good in the Doom Raid. I have not used her there yet, but I think that's where we're going. So we have the little asterisk, and all stats are max level. No crap, really. Like we didn't expect it to be that anyway. But anyway.
Yeah. I think people complained, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So her basic ability is called Aerial Ace. You attack primary target for 370% damage, plus apply defense down for 2 turns. You chain to one adjacent target for 310% damage, plus apply defense down for 2 turns. Counterattack breaks this chain. That's actually not a really bad basic. And also, with her applying defense down, I'm assuming that this will also be her counter ability or her assist ability as well. I really wish they would put that text in here with it, but obviously they don't.
Yeah, they need to get that stuff in the game.
Yeah.
First, let's get them to get it in the game. Then we'll worry about putting it in their blog post.
Right. So her special is Light Speed Blitz. Energy cost is 4/4, which means you can use it turn 1. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 270% damage, plus apply defense down for 2 turns to each target. Repeat this attack 1 additional time. Apply speed up for 2 turns, plus defense up for 2 turns, plus immunity for 2 turns to self. This attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. That's a good attack. That's probably like the only one, depending on where the abilities come in, that would probably be the only one you could skip the T4 on, in my opinion. But again, that depends on if the buffs come in on the T4, which I'm sure they probably do. So she's probably going to be a 4/4 for T4s.
I'm assuming, here, let's look. Her T4 grants 60% more damage. It adds the defense down and it adds the immunity. So she gets speed up. She gets the repeat the attack. She gets the defense down to each target. Sorry. Back up. So it adds the applying the defense down to 2 turns to each target, and the immunity to self, plus 60% damage is the T4. So she gets the defense up, the speed up, the repeat the attack 1 time, and the unavoidable and blocked part.
Yeah, but the T4 is worth it. I think that T4 is worth it for the immunity. The immunity is going to help her survive. Assuming the other team even gets a turn, from what I've seen from her so far, it's been pretty.
Right.
She's a pretty nasty character. Next up, we have the ultimate Dimensional Assault. Energy cost 6/6. Again, first turn, so you kind of get your pick of turns of abilities right out the gate. Clear all positive effects from primary target. Apply defense down for 2 turns, plus attack for 600% piercing. You gain 5,000% extra focus for this attack. Characters killed by this attack cannot be revived. That's nice. This kind of feels like this almost feels like a Heroes for Hire counter type ability right here.
Yeah, it's almost like they put out a defensive team, and they immediately put out a character that is automatically going to wipe them off the map. Like, I would assume, since we've seen, videos of like this ability destroying a G15 Silver Surfer. Granted, you also need a G15, Kestrel at, to get the damage up that high. But it's almost like, well, we created these nice new characters to like be a great war defensive team, but then we put out a character that just said, nope, just use this guy. and you beat them. So it's like,
Well, yeah,
they
but
almost,
they
did
did
themselves a favor.
Well, it's
about, like what you said.
It's a sales tactic. It's a sales tactic. You give us the problem, which is the heroes for hire, and then you sell us the solution, which is Kestrel.
No, normally they don't sell you the solution in the exact same patch. Normally,
usually there is a little bit of a time frame in there where you have to wait, but yeah, it does. Yeah, it does happen. So then we get to her passive, which is fun in my opinion. It's called Dimension Hopper. So on spawn, gain charged plus offense up for 2 turns. On turn, heal self for 20% of max health plus clear all negative effects from self. If negative effects are removed, heal self for 5% per negative effect removed. That's very similar to Cull's special ability that heals for a percentage per negative effect that's removed. On turn, if charged and any enemy has attempted to summon or clone, clear charged. Okay, so until she takes a turn, she has charged, assuming someone has attempted to summon and or clone somebody. On ally turn, if an enemy with defense down is attacked, attack the most injured enemy for 400% damage. That's a lot of damage. Gain 20% max health. If at least one ally is Cosmic or Nick Fury, gain an additional 20% maximum health. So Shield and Cosmic, there's a team right there. Nick Fury allies gain an additional 40% maximum health. And while this character has charged, enemies cannot summon or clone. So if
go ahead.
If I'm reading this correctly, and this is just my interpretation, and I could be wrong. So she's going to start out with charged, okay?
Yep.
As soon as and she's going to start out with charged, and she's going to have that charged at minimum to her first turn. If nobody summons anything that first turn, and nobody clones anything that first turn, she's going to keep charged until that happens. Or until you have a character such as Silver Surfer remove said charged.
Right.
And then once she takes a turn after either the charged is gone or whatever, then it's gone. Or if somebody summons or clones, then the charged is gone, and she does not kill the summon or the clone instantly.
Like I feel bad because this. If this character would have came out, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I would have not taken Hela up to 15 because basically all this is saying, well, guess what? We're going to put this character on every cosmic node, period, in Dark Dimension. So you can't get Greg. And Greg is the whole reason why tons of people get through Dark Dimension.
Yeah.
So it's like, because Greg can't come back unless Hela dies. Like, if Greg gets blocked the first time, Hela has to die for him to come back. Like, think of how screwed up that is. Like,
yeah,
you can't, like, it basically just completely neuters your team. Now, granted, everything up until this point, I'm still happy I took Hela to 15. I'm fine with it. Cool. Like, it's gonna get me through DD4. But guess what? Hela is probably not going any higher than 15. Like, she is probably staying there forever. Because if any Kestrel is on any node, guess what's gonna happen? She's useless. Yeah. She is literally and utterly useless.
Yep, I agree.
Like, the whole benefit of her character is gone. So, and you can't get it back unless she dies. So, yeah. Like, Hela is done. So, we'll just say that. There's Doom. I think Doom will be able to survive this. Ultron's a little weird because his is on an ability, a long cooldown ability.
Right.
Who else summons? Technically, Sinister can still survive this. because his team is still very good.
Yeah. Doc Ock can survive it.
Doc Ock can survive it because, hell, that summon doesn't do much and dies very quickly anyway. Who else summons on ability that potentially? Doom is the only one that summons on passive besides Hela, and the way Hela's passive works is Greg has to die for him to come back. Well, if he never gets summoned in the first place, then he can't die to come back.
Right, which is what he'll
literally.
Hela.
Yeah, I don't. So I think that's it, right? That's all the summons. Other than like Kingpin, which who gives a shit?
Right, Kingpin summons don't matter.
There's summons that we just aren't talking about that no one cares about.
Right, there's Kingpin, there's Fury, there's Nobu.
But she also works. She works with Fury, so basically all it's just saying is that a mirror match is out of the question. Because neither one of your Furies will work. But I mean,
well, it just means that you won't pull the summons on his ultimate. You'll still get all of his abilities up, or his buffs up, and then can spread them. So,
right. Yep. Yeah. The buffs will still work. It's just the summons don't, which is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can go. We can keep going because we got a lot more to go.
Yeah. All right. So, Birds of a Feather celebrate the arrival of Kestrel while bolstering your roster and outfitting Nick Fury with a slick new costume during the Birds of a Feather event. Give your roster wings by playing through the Take a Flight event campaign and earning Kestrel character shards, in addition to Voyager orb fragments. The Voyager orb contains select characters with a limited time Voyager trait. Open Voyager orbs to earn points towards the Earn Your Wings milestone, which rewards gear, character shards, and a 3 red star Kestrel. Spending Voyager energy in the Take Flight event campaign will earn you points towards the Fabric of Reality milestone. Rewards for this daily milestone include SBC parts, superior mini unique gear pieces, and enough gold flash bits to acquire the Strike Anniversary costume for Nick Fury. So, cool. It's do this event.
I want to say on this is that they really want people to have this character because they're giving a 3 red star out of this orb every time you open it, which is crazy. 2, or not every time you open it, but like chance to
in the milestone.
2,
it's milestones to get to the 3 red star.
Yeah. So if this flash bits is the 50k, which I'm really, really hoping it is, guess what? Guess who's not getting the Strike Anniversary costume? This guy. Guess who's letting that stuff roll over to the because I think flash bits gets turned into costume bits at the end of the event. Oh, I'm just gonna buy Elektra's costume at the end of that shit because. Let's talk about how ugly some of these costumes. We talked about how bad and how poorly designed the Veer's costume is. Oh God, the Strike costume is dog crap. Like I hate shitting on people's work. Our work. Somebody worked hard on this, but man, it looks like crap. Just saying, it looks like crap.
I hear you. I think we actually need to sit down and crunch the numbers because it only converts so many of the flash bits into currency. So I thought
it was 1-to-1, but we could talk about that after. Like it's that's gonna be a thing. If it's not 1-to-1, then we'll need to figure that out because
I think we'll need to.
I'll be hitting it harder.
I think we need to go back and look at it because I think you can only hold so much of the currency. So I think we'll have to look at that. But anyway, so here we have Misty Knight. A little bit of background on her. She is in the Heroes for Hire team. She's City Tech Controller hero. Her basic attack primary target for 330% damage, plus apply defense down, apply offense up to a random Colleen Wing ally. How many Colleen Wing allies are you going to have? I mean, come on.
I think that's a typo. I'm pretty sure that means Heroes for Hire.
Maybe.
I just don't understand why it says Colleen Wing, because it even says it in the game that way. it just doesn't make sense of why it would be a Colleen Wing ally. I don't know. I'm confused.
I think that it's
Who's using Sinister? Basically, who's using Sinister with this team? It's what I'm getting at. That's the only way you're gonna get multiple. And then who's using this team on offense to face them? You know?
Well, this is true. Or, you know, it could be, you know, like potential node in, say, DD5 where you have 4 or 5 of them. So
yeah, maybe.
But anyway, so if Colleen Wing is an ally, this attack cannot be blocked. Seems kind of familiar. Her special, Stopping Power, energy cost 3/3, attack primary target for 350% damage, plus apply stun and heal block. Chain to one adjacent target for 300% damage, plus apply ability block and heal block. If Colleen Wing is an ally, this attack cannot be blocked. On war defense, this attack targets the enemy with the highest damage instead of the primary target, ignoring taunt and stealth. Clear all death proof on all enemy summons, plus attack them for 500% damage. This part of the attack cannot be dodged. Plus you gain 1000% extra focus for this attack. So this is like a, you know, as we said before, this is a Deadpool style special. With a clear all death proof from all enemy summons and attack them for 500% damage. Get wrecked multiple man.
Yeah, y'all were making fun of me, like not even last week on my stream, for not having X Factor and not wanting to do it and not wanting to buy it. Well, guess what? Look who's looking like the guy that made the right call. This guy. This guy. Can't use your shiny new toy against this team.
But see, I don't need to use my shiny new toy against this team because I can use my shiny new toy to punch up 200k on Emma and then save my Black Order for this team. So, so there is that. Her ultimate ability, Armed Response, energy cost is 4/4. Clear all positive effects on the primary target. Attack for 500% damage. Apply ability block and disrupted on ward defense. This attack targets the enemy with the highest health. Instead of the primary target, ignoring taunt and stealth, you gain an additional 500% extra focus for this attack. So this is going to go after your protectors, your tanks, more than likely, depending on which protectors and tanks you're using.
I'm gonna say it. Misty Knight's the real deal. She's gonna be the engine that keeps this team running. Like, this team is gonna win because of her.
Well, let's get into the passive because the passive is Crew Captain.
Well,
I mean,
real quick. But I hate abilities that do that, where they target, especially when you're controlling them. Like, while this is a war defense team and you're not controlling them, so it doesn't matter. But when you target the highest health person, yes, that's most likely going to be the controller or the protector or whatever. But in a lot of cases, it's not. And unless that one shots a character, man, it's just that could go wrong a lot of different ways.
It could. But again, this team is on defense, and the AI is stupid anyway. So
yeah, it's on offense. When you're using this team in RTA, you will be able to pick and choose stuff. You know, like you'll be able to like. And granted, it's only on war defense that this happens. So
right.
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead on the. I just don't like the target highest health instead of primary. I like the lowest health ones and like the, you know, but I don't like the highest health ones.
Makes sense. All right, so the passive, Crew Captain, on spawn on war defense, fills speed bar by 20% for self and all heroes for higher allies. Grant 10 ability energy for all heroes for higher allies. Gain speed up for 2 turns. If this character has 3 or more heroes for higher allies, if health is full and not charged, gain 2 charged. 10 ability energy is a lot. At the end of any turn, if charged and below 50% health, lose 1 charge, clear all negative effects, heal for 100% of the max health, gain offense up for 2 turns, 2 deflect, and death proof. So this is identical to Colleen Wings. If charged, always revive on death and gain 10% damage, 10% damage reduction, and 175% resistance per charged. Again, same as Colleen Wing. On enemy death, apply speed up to 2 random heroes for higher allies or self that do not have speed up. You gain 5% dodge chance and 5% per heroes for higher ally. And on ward defense, you gain 70% focus.
So not a lot of focus, which is kind of random, considering that most people have 100,000,
right. Well,
increased.
You get the 70% focus on war defense, but then that's gonna stack with the abilities because the ultimate you gain 5,000 extra percent.
Yeah.
With the special you gain 1,000%. I mean, so that's just gonna stack on top of it and add additional focus.
I just don't understand why they didn't make it 5,070 or 1,070, because those abilities, it says on war defense on them. So what's the point of adding an extra 70 on top when you could have just added it to the ability? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, what you're doing isn't making any sense, because I don't know. All you're doing basically is adding 70% on war defense to the basic. That's all you're really doing, because otherwise the 70% is inconsequential when you're talking about 1,000 extra and 5,000 extra.
Right.
But the ability energy, that's going to be cool. We did skip over the Luke Cage. One of the Luke Cage things is he gains like 80% speed bar on his turn. So if he somehow lucks into, even if he would just used his taunt or his alt, and he lucks into getting half of that energy, I mean, he's just gonna do it right again. So it's like, it is 10 for 4 people. So and her herself does count. So it's gonna be random. It's not, obviously, 10 divided by 4 does not come out to a whole number.
Does not compute.
Yeah, it does not compute. So
you're averaging.
It's gonna be random on who it goes to. But like, if it all goes to Luke Cage, get ready to get wrecked, because he's gonna taunt again, and it's not gonna be pretty.
Yep, and defense up and death proof.
Yep, all the fun stuff. So it is a mixed bag. It's like a Jessica Jones thing on Spawn, but that's basically all it is.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Definitely the engine that's gonna make that team go. Just, I still can't tell who the first person to kill is. It's still between Iron Fist and her. I think you can survive Colleen Wing. I think you can survive Luke. Obviously, you can survive Luke Cage. His damage does not increase at all. But
no,
between Misty and Iron Fist, those going to be your two, I think, targets.
Yeah.
Your first targets, I should say.
I agree. All right, so next we have a campaign node update. A shift change is coming soon to the campaign nodes on May 5th, which is Wednesday. Yelena Belova will replace Night Nurse in Heroes 5.9. Be sure to head there to get her shards, because in May we'll be releasing the new training materials flash event, Back to Boot Camp, which will require skilled military characters to participate. If you still need a dose of Night Nurse shards, you can still find her in Villains 3.9. As always, we'll be making a character more available via the store or campaign nodes on the first Wednesday of each month, so look out for next month's new additions. I did not expect them to put Yelena on a node this early.
Not just a node this early, on a 16 node.
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all, but I'm okay with it because it gives me somebody else to farm, because I'm almost out of characters to farm.
Yeah, I'm kind of like in that spot too. Like, I'm not in your spot where you basically have everyone at 7. Like, once I get done with the legendary characters, I've only got like 4 characters that I'm like working on right now, and they're all at 6 now, working on their 7th. Once they're done, I'm like, well, who in the hell do I work on now? Like, obviously the next legendary ones will always be in there, but
yeah,
it's to the point where I'm like gonna have to start farming, you know, Ravager Boomer and, you know, or, you know, whoever is on the node, you know. I'm just running out, man.
yeah.
I just don't know what else to do.
As far as characters that I can farm on nodes, right now I have 6 that I can farm.
I think I've got probably double that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
I have to look, but I probably maybe have double that. And that's not a lot.
Yeah, it's really not.
Yeah, not good.
So repeating legendary character, back again for our new repeating legendary rotation is Now You See Me, featuring Invisible Woman. That'll be on May 10th, which will be a week from Monday. To add this Fantastic Four Protector to your roster, you'll need Sinister Six team at a minimum of 5 stars. The login calendar leading up to the event will no longer appear, but you'll receive 3 shards for up to 7 other required characters in your inbox announcing the start of the event to help prepare. Also be on the lookout for the Double Trouble bonus event to help bolster your Sinister Six characters. Upcoming blitzes, add the power of Psy and swords to your roster with this week's blitzes. The Merc with a mouth blitz comes at you first on May 3rd, where you can break the 4th wall and your enemy's will while earning Deadpool character shards. And then on May 6th, the Master Assassin blitz kicks into action with Electra shards up for grabs. Don't miss this opportunity to fortify your Shadowlands brawler. So having said that, with that being the 2 blitzes for this week, Colleen Wing will be either Monday or Thursday of the following week, is my guess. More than likely
Yes.
Thursday. Usually they do new characters on Thursdays, so I would guess it will be the following Thursday.
Yeah, so basically what I'm thinking is, so we got Kestrel on a Thursday, right? Next Thursday, Colleen Wing is going to drop. And then we'll have a week after the next one. So next week is the 6th. So that'll be when Colleen Wing drops. Then on the 13th is when we should get her blitz.
Yep. And that should also be, if I was a betting man, sometime in that neighborhood will be the same time that we get Misty Knight in the source.
Yes. I would say. I think they're going to run this like the Bishop Iceman one. They're going to run them back to back, where they're going to run one, and then they're going to run the other, then they're going to have the second run, then they're going to have the second run. It's just going to keep flip-flopping back and forth. That way they get it all done. You get 1 easy character, 2 hard characters to get. I think otherwise one of them's going to be a blitz milestone, which maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
it
a
makes
possibility.
more sense if they're both blitzes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just have to see. Maybe next week's blog will have more information on it.
Yep.
Bonus and flash events. Black Bolt's legendary event is coming. On May 2nd, we'll get the 4 Asgard, which is the double Asgardian character shards on campaign nodes. Then take the gloves off your hand team on May 7th. Because you can send your ninjas into battle to bring back tons of catalyst parts. You won't need the help of the beast to improve your hand team. Please don't summon the beast, because we've got the Need a Hand event coming up on May 5th, which rewards double character shard payouts in campaign nodes for hand characters. Then we have the Nick Fury rework for Kestrel. So with Kestrel making a grand return, Nick Fury has been reinvigorated and is ready to pick up where their partnership left off. To reflect this in the game, his abilities have been updated to have specific synergy with Kestrel. Only the updated lines from the abilities are shown below. The rest of his kit remains unchanged. Basically, what this did was, wherever it said you would heal self and all shield minion allies. It now says heal self Kestrel and all shield minion allies. That's really all they did. Nothing else changed with his kit as far as I'm aware. So wherever it had shield minion,
one part did.
Kestrel.
So when he does his alt, he gives death proof to the summons and defense up to the summons as well.
Right. So
Kestrel is on the board.
So instead of 2 random positive effects, if Kestrel is an ally, you get defense up for 1 turn and 2 death proof for summoned agents.
To the agents. Yep.
Right.
To the agents. Yep. So and that is going to, and we don't know where that's going to land. We don't know if that's going to be part of the ability, or if that's going to be part of the T4. I don't have that ability T4'd currently.
Isn't his passive? Isn't his passive Director of Shield?
Yes. Yes.
Did they rename
and I
it?
have that one. Let's see. Which one do I have?
I've
got the passive, and that's it. The 2 I think that everyone said you did, because I have him 13'd because of DD2. That's who I took into DD2. And I think it was the alt and the passive were the 2 that you needed. So the passive is updated, but the alt does. Oh, never mind. The alt is. So it is part of the actual alt. So you don't need to T4 the ability to get the defense up and the death proofs. All the alt's gonna do, the T4 is gonna do, is 2 to 3 agents instead of just 2.
Yep.
And more damage for the agents.
Yep. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for the blog post, guys. So until next time.
Good luck, commanders.
And as always, guys,
you go do it.
And as always, guys, all times are 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time and are subject to change. There it is. There's the blog post. There's the patch notes. There's everything. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Leave comments down below if you got any thoughts, questions, comments. Cdotts links, as always, will be in the description, along with Discord and anything else. And guys, we do this live on Twitch, so come hang out with us. Have a great one, guys. Later.
Bye.